So first of all, I want to say that I'm very honored to be on this forum and to speak to you. I'm running a Facebook group. It's called Macrobiotic, you know, the German word with the K's inside. And there are 300 or more people in the group, but nobody showed up here. Even I promoted it several times. So, but I don't mind. You are there, and I'm happy to be here. My name is Schenk. I'm a rock musician, and I have an artist name that's Schenk. It's easier to pronounce for English-speaking people. And I live in a beautiful town in Germany, North Germany. It's called Lübeck. Maybe you know it. It's the town where the famous marzipan is coming from. So I will show you a picture of my favorite place. But what I want to say is, early in my life, I heard of macrobiotic. I read a book from Oshawa in this beginning of the 70s, Zen macrobiotic and the Eunuch principle. And I was 19 years old also. And now I'm 66 years. So, and still practices. My English is not so good. I don't speak to people anyway now because of the crisis, Corona crisis. I didn't meet many people, and now I have to speak English. I will try my best. Okay. So, to be honest, I started a drug career with the age of 14. And my first drug in my life was LSD. Yeah, that's true. So, but somehow it wakened me up. So I studied books, reading books about Buddhism, about Hermetic philosophies and so on. And then I get this book from Oshawa. And I was so fascinated from the Eunuch principle. The Eunuch principle is something I try to understand until this day. Every day I can learn some more. And I found out that how Oshawa described it, that the Eunuch principle is really universal. So it is everywhere. There is nothing in the world of change that we are in where this principle is not, has an effect on everything what is going on. So I had written something and I will read it. And because to speak English free now is, the time was too short to prepare myself for that. But before, I will show you my favorite place where I go nearly every day for meditation and to meet some friends. I hope it will work. So here's a picture. You can see it. In the front, you see my bicycle. I'm riding bicycle every day. And this is a little pond, a lake, where we meet and where we discuss things. And it's a beautiful place. Lübeck has a lot of churches. You see one here. And it's fantastic. It's like in the medieval times a bit. So I come back. You saw it?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you saw. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. So maybe um, I want to read a bit. You can hear me?
Yes.
I'm reading now on this. And later, I will show you how to prepare Gomasio. Gomasio, some say Gomasio. In my studio, I have no kitchen, but I have put up some things here so I can make it for you. But before, I want to explain something. So, what I found out in the last 50 years. The question is macrobiotics just a nutritional science, or is there more to it? Is it just a diet, how to prepare food or what kind of food to eat, or is there more? And for sure there is more. Yes, macrobiotics is based on a philosophy that enables a better understanding of the order of the universe and ultimately can lead to complete self-knowledge. So what I found out in my life is that you cannot know what is going on with another person or what is going on in the world with others. You really don't know. Yeah. Can you trust them? Can you not trust them? Are they good? Are they bad? Or anything? It is unclear, and it will stay unclear all your life. So self-knowledge is the most important thing, because there is everything you need in your life. The macrobiotic diet then is the most important building block for a peaceful world with healthy, self-confident residents. So this is what I think can achieved by following a macrobiotic diet. So the question is that what is proclaimed as a macrobiotic diet? Is it really a macrobiotic diet, or is it something else? Because people didn't understand the philosophy behind it. And I will make how it's called, a quote from Oshawa, George Oshawa. I try to read all his books. I think I got them now all. And every day I have thoughts that come from these books, like theory without practice is useless. But practice without theory is dangerous. Oshawa often in his books stressed that to the readers, that they don't forget that practice without the theory is not the same thing. When you practice macrobiotics without the theory, you may face problems. And one of the problems is the thing with the dualistic thinking. So macrobiotic is not dualistic. There is no polarity. That has to be understood. Yin-yang cannot be described as dualistic opposites. At the deepest level of existence, yin-yang is the force of field fluctuations. There are powers in the universe, and these powers are called fields, and they fluctuate. One goes into the other, and yeah. This cause of any change, this is the cause of any change, should always be taken into account in any person seeking a real understanding of the yin-yang function. The separation of yin and yang into separate opposites is and remains a useless effort that always leads to wrong results. So I will come back for a moment here. It sounds hard. I had a lot of discussions with people in other macrobiotic groups, and sometimes it is really a boring discussion, always about who sees it right and what is the opposite, and so on and so on. And for me, Oshawa also did a mistake. He separated things into yin and yang. So he made a list and then wrote, yeah, this thing, this is yang and this is yin. But he did that to make it easier, to make it clear in which direction it goes. So when you understand that everything in every phenomenon in the universe is yin yang, it's always together, not separate, then you also see that it is only a tendency to yin and yang, and not that anything is really yin or yang. So, and Oshawa, he said, this was long known, thousands of years, even before first human civilizations came up, and so other people already found out this key. He said it is a key. The Eunuch principle is a key, like this one. And this one is the real key. Let's say the real key, it looks like this, okay? And the priests changed it. And the doctors and the politicians, they changed it to hide it from us. And now it looks like this. It's a secret. Yeah? This key, I found that on the street. This key shows the clarity of yin-yang principle, the Eunuch principle. It's very easy to understand, but hard to assimilate. That's it. You have to think a lot about it. It's not one day that you find it. And this one is closed, and they keep it as a secret for them. And it was so secret in thousands of years that they lost it. They lost the key. And what we see today, how things are interpreted, even in traditional Chinese medicine, they also use yin-yang as a term. It is completely dualistic. So I go back to my text. So I have it here. The most important thing for us as a living being, and a human especially, is to be whole. We have to be whole. To be whole, you also use the word whole in whole macrobiotic forum. This is very important, not to lose the sight on the whole. You can, when you use your look, you can look at this and you can look at this and see a difference. But in the background, everything is whole. And in the world of antagonists, that is what we are talking about in the Eunuch principle of antagonists, we see things in the world of change. They are antagonists, cold, warm, hot, small, big, and so on. We see things and ourselves as separate from each other. It is our natural aspiration to be completely whole. That is the truth. But now our judgment stands against this natural perfection, because what we accept is only a one-sided edition, a one-sided part of us. What is rejected by our judgment, and it is easy to reject things. I don't want sugar, I don't want this, I don't want that. It's a rejection. Yeah? what is rejected by our judgment remains lost and makes us imperfect. This is the cause of all misfortune and suffering in human history from the beginning until today. So that, it's very hard to understand that. So, and now, before it becomes too complicated and maybe nobody understands what I'm saying, I want to come to the practice. The Eunuch principle, you can read it in Oshawa's books only 2 times. It is only 2 times there, incomplete version. And later I can transmit it to you. The latest version of Oshawa is very interesting. It's different from the first one, but almost people read in his first book from 1930, a long time ago. And one of his latest book was The Eunuch Principle in the Atomic Age. So I don't know if it's the correct name of the book in English, but there he made it really clear how it is. So there is only one principle, and often I hear people talking about macrobiotic principles. So, but there are no macrobiotic principles. These are theorems. They are called theorems from the one and unique principle that is driving the whole universe. It is not a dogma invented by humans. It is a principle, a physical principle that is way out in the whole universe, the same, like a universal law. So, and you can study it, you can read about it, you can learn it. Yeah, it takes a long time before you really get it. But you also, and that is fantastic, I found out you can feel it. You can feel it. You can really feel it. And I will show you how. I have here's something that is called suribashi. You know, maybe you saw it before. It's a bowl from Japan, and it's a suribashi, very nice thing. And here we have a shikogo, surikogo, I don't know, maybe. They have different names, and they belong together. And the form, this form, is from the Zen philosophy of the tea ceremony. This little, this one is a big one, the big suribashi, and there are also small ones with a small piece of wood. And they use it in the tea ceremony. Before they grind the tea before it is cooked. And this is a parable form, very special. It is perfect, a perfect form to grind things. And okay, what I have to do now, I have to switch over to my kitchen. I have a iPhone here, maybe. Fireplace here, little gas oven. I will switch it on. That's very nice. You can cook with gas everywhere. They are cheap and working fine. So I have a little pot where I warm up. So as I said before, I was sometime I was in Ghana, and there I learned a proverb, and that says, every misfortune is a blessing. So my misfortune today is I couldn't get sesame yesterday. All the shops were closed, and I couldn't find it in the supermarket because of the lockdown we have here in Germany today. So, but I thought, okay, I looked in my storage if I had something similar, and I found quinoa. And for demonstration, it's okay. I use quinoa. No. 1, 2, 3, 4 spoons of quinoa. So now this has to warm up. It takes some time. I think it will pop some after some time it will pop up, but I will take it from the fire before it pops up. So then we have some similar like sesame, looks like sesame. Yeah. Yeah. Looks a bit like sesame. So that's very fine. Takes some time. When you use sesame instead of quinoa now, then you heat it up until when you press the seeds between your fingers and it becomes too hot to keep it, then it's ready. So it takes some time. The flame is wonderful. So I hear it popping. And it's already hot. That's fine. With sesame, it takes a bit longer, but we don't have too much time here. So this is it's good. So I reduce the flame and put the seeds into the suribashi. Now, before I grind this, I will take 1 spoon of salt and put it here. I use Selmarine Atlantic from Danival. It's a company also, they sell macrobiotic products. It's very nice salt. And salt takes water from the air, so it is always a bit wet. And now it can dry on the warm pot here.
So no fire there?
No, the pot is hot enough to dry the salt. Yeah, some people say you should heat the salt really hot until it smells. I don't like that. It changed the taste, and I like the taste when the salt is.
Do you need to wash the seeds first?
No, they are clean. I cannot wash them, then they are wet, and it will take a long time before they. No? Normally, you can lift them up like this in the pot, and then you see some smoke coming up. This is what you don't want to have, and it will leave just by shaking it up. So now, I will change the perspective a bit because this is the trick. Can we see it? Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it works. It works. And now you take this, put it inside the bowl, the suribashi, and just put your left hand on top. No pressure, just put it there. It's the weight, the gravity does it all. And now you start grinding this way in a spiral movement. Spiralic movement, going up and down and up and down. And it's like a meditation. You can feel for me, you can feel the Eunuch principle working. The forces of the universe are working here now. I don't destroy these seeds. I don't destroy them. I just let them roll. And the movement is going up and down and up and down. So you can see that, how it works. And the sound is fantastic. And you feel how this suribashi is made. It is really perfect. It fits perfect together. There's no resistance. And it's completely easy to move. This is the movement that is happening here is like the yin-yang movement in our daily life, going forth and back, up and down, left to right. And so is how the universe is working in a spiral ways. We know that. Oshawa also, he wrote in his book, the motor of the universe is the infinite accelerated expansion. And this is what's happening here. And inside this expansion, this very fast expansion that is accelerated and infinite, you can move up and down, back and forth. This is what life is doing. And here with this little machine, very simple, out of clay and a piece of wood, you can feel this thing happening. So after some time, if you use sesame, it will smell like roasted chicken. And a very nice smell. And then we put it down and look for the salt. It is now dry. Yeah, nice dry. And I have a, how's called this? I don't know. A grinder? Grinder, no?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I use the grinder to make the salt very fine. This is important that it does not stick here in the suribashi. So after it is ground and fine, I add it to the sesame and do the same thing again, like before. You can see it. I put my left hand on the top and start to rotate. And now the seeds and the salt will be perfectly mixed. So I use 4 parts of sesame and 1 part of salt. That is a young mixture. More young, it is more young. If you use 8 parts of seeds and 1 spoon of salt, it will be more yin. But Gomasio is, when you compare it to vegetables, it is young anyway. And it is a perfect what's called condiment, something like pepper or herbs you can add to your food. And when you prepare your porridge in the morning and you add gomasio to it, it is really wonderful. Yeah. So I hope you Later, when it is ready, I can use this. It is called tawashi. I have a big one here. Tawashi is from kokos fiber, also from Japan, and it's perfect to clean vegetables, root vegetables, like carrots and so. Then you don't have to peel them. And this I use here to clean the suribashi later. So also I want to show some other things good for macrobiotic kitchen. This one.
Porcelain grater.
Grater, yeah, right. And I have another one here. I like to use, instead of a metal pot, I like to use this one to make the nituke. Vegetables with oil, a bit oil, and you put it there and simmer it on low temperature. And it's a very nice clay pot also from Japan. I like to use that. And it's enough for 2 persons to prepare vegetables. You can get them bigger and smaller. So and one thing also, to prepare maybe every day or every second day or 3 days, twice in a week, is miso soup. And I don't like the miso that makes the miso soup unclear. I like the clear miso soup. And this is the pure hacho miso from Lima. I prefer to make my miso soup. It has a beautiful taste. And in combination with the dashi, with kombu, a kombu broth, this is fantastic. Okay. I hope you find it, couldn't understand how this works. This thing is wonderful. It should be in every kitchen, I think. Then when you make your own gomasio, it tastes so much different from the gomasio you can buy. That is nothing. When you make it by your own, it is perfect because the flavors and everything are much more inside there. Okay, I will switch back. I hope I can. Yeah. So,
how do you store your gomasio?
Yeah, in a glass with a lid.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and how long do you keep it? Every 3-4 days you make new
until
one?
it is finished. So maybe you know these glasses for tahini, the sesame paste. Yeah. You can tahini, buy it, yeah. Then when it is empty, I clean it and then I store my gomasio inside there.
So it's about that big, yeah.
Mm-hmm. 500 grams tahini, yeah. And it will keep there its quality. After some time, you feel it is not so good anymore, then you can use it also for cooking and make a fresh one. Yeah. So
someone is asking about how to use gomasio. Do you just use a small amount on your rice?
Yeah.
Or are you taking spoonfuls?
How I made it with a lot of salt, one before.
I saw.
You can use it like ordinary salt, not too much. And it has a different taste. It gives the food more taste through the oils in the sesame. And when you add it on warm food, the smell will come up again. So, and that gives good appetite to eat a porridge in the morning. And you also can put it on on your vegetables. And one thing I was astonished about is it tastes really good on apple compote. When you cook apples, you get this dessert, yeah, something like that for eating, and you put some Gomasio on it. It will, it's a taste explosion. It's really good. People always, when they cook their apples, I cut them and then I cook them on a low temperature for some time, so not too long, and let them become cold. And when I want to eat it, I put some Gomasio on top. And almost the people think they have to add some sugar or maple syrup or how it's called, this the other rice syrup. That is in macrobiotic. If you need some sugar, you use rice syrup, and it's not necessary. The apples, cooked apples with Gomasio, it tastes wonderful. I can assure you that.
We have a question from Paul. Paul is asking, Osawa wrote.
Yeah.
Hold on a moment. Are you muted? Can you mute yourself?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just hearing a big echo. Paul wrote, Osawa wrote, the only law of Chinese medicine is explained in 4 words, Shindo Fuji, which means that man and his environment are not two. Can you explain a little bit more your understanding of that?
Yeah, I didn't hear that quote before, but I think this is a clue to the reality that nothing is separated from each other. We only see that. We see separation, and we are making the difference. But in reality, everything is one. I will come to that again because I have more text here.
Shindo Fuji means man and environment are not
two. Yeah. That also means, in my understanding, that the environment is what surrounds us and what gives us food, and we are the food. So we are connected to the environment. So that it is very important to don't lose the connection to the environment, to see it as yourself as separate from the environment. Human being is not a Holy Ghost that doesn't need environment. We are connected with it by food. The food is our environment. I have something here that fits. I just look. Yeah. That was so easy. Now I'm not in a line anymore, but it doesn't matter.
So Paul continues to write and says, to maintain natural and perfect health, man must feed himself on the products which nature offers him in the environment in the same proportions that they are naturally produced. Of course, we're talking about natural products within a 50-kilometer radius from where you live.
Yeah. Also, he liked he don't like Darwin too much. It's evolution.
Darwin, yes.
No. And there is another theory of that the terrain, the surrounding, the environment, bring forth all the different animals and plants and so on. And this is also connected to the food, that the food chain produces more evolved beings through the time. You know? And so every living being is depending on that and cannot step out. So humans do that, and so they become sick. Maybe I read one thing here that shows the connection. I call it the peaceful life. Life itself only takes place at the molecular level, and there is absolute peace. Inside us, the life is happening inside us, in every cell, and there is absolute peace. And what I wrote here is also important to the situation we have now. The human race started a war against an imaginary enemy, the virus. And that's not good, in my opinion. Because everything that happens in our cells is based on peaceful communication and regulation through genetic information. You know, viruses, with their genetic information, have been perfectly integrated into this living communication network since the beginning of life. Viruses are older than humans, older than animals at all. They have been there 3.5 billion years from now with the bacteria. So they are brothers. They are our brothers, like the bacteria too. All the fermented food is through bacteria, and so we need them. Because they produce some things for us that we cannot produce ourselves, like vitamin B, for instance. It's only from microbes. No animal produces that. And plants anyway, but microbes, they do that. And it's in the food of the animals that vitamin B comes into our blood. So, every molecule in the organism follows the laws that have been in force in the universe since the beginning of time. There's no other chance. The molecules cannot do what they want. They have to follow these laws all the time. The order through the laws of the universe ensures that our body is in a state that we can call health, Is there an illness? An example, a disruption of the genetic communication network and the regulatory system. This shows that there is a violation of the laws of the universe. That's the only reason, nothing else. Nobody has a fault, it's nobody's fault. This is the reason that we have to look for. From all that we know about viruses so far today, it seems to be the case that viruses serve, among other things, to detect such violations and to start a regulatory program to restore the natural order. I will say why it is so. That maybe sound hard. It sounds hard when you see it from a human perspective, that somebody maybe dies or so many become sick and are dying. And this is really not, it's not good. But the question is, why is this happening? Because what the virus is doing is about maintaining the peace in nature. that is essential for the survival of all living beings. Yeah? We have violated a piece of life. And so the virus shows up to regulate this again. Since people know subconsciously that they have more or less violated the laws of the universe, fear reactions occur, and they believe that they can defeat the virus with martial actions. They start a war because of fear. So, however, these actions are completely irrational and only lead to more hunger, suffering, and misery in the world, and ultimately to more disease and death. That's logic. The only way out is to respect the peaceful order in nature, to recognize the laws of the universe, and to follow them unconditionally. No excuse. There's no excuse. A warlike attitude leads, in the current situation, mankind is guaranteed to ruin. What is needed now is gentleness, humility, gratitude, in order not to endanger the survival of all life on this planet. What we see now, climate change and so on. So, and this is not separated from each other. All this belongs together. The virus and the climate change is one reaction, one life that is reacting. Yeah. So, what I want to say is, please study the only principle of macrobiotics that describes the order and the laws of the universe. Go inside and meditate, feel the peace within you, then feel this loving feeling and live in harmony with the natural order. Nature can help you by starting to only eat natural foods. Eat yourself healthy. Only in this way will you be freed from irrational fear, and you will finally find the protection and security that every person needs for a happy life. So that's my statement to this man as a human. Humans are not separated to the environment, as it all belongs together. And so you have to understand the laws in this environment and not to violate them all the time. Some people think they have enough money, so they have the right to do that. But yeah, nature will get them. There's no escape and no excuse. No. So what is the time? Oh, we are through. Maybe some more questions. I hope I can visit you again, and I have more to tell.
I'm sure you do. It's so nice to hear you pay attention to philosophy, because we don't have always, many times the focus is more on the practical, doing this way. People are asking, why are you stirring counterclockwise?
Yeah.
Or clockwise?
Me now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because I use the right hand. If I will use the right hand on top and the left hand will steer the other way around.
Okay.
It's just a practical thing.
Also, they're asking your choice of gray sea salt instead of white.
No, it is white. Yeah, gray. Okay, it's natural. But when I heat it up and then make it fine, it becomes white.
Okay. And they're asking about 1 to 4 is very salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a salty guy.
Don't give it to children.
I don't think so.
Okay. I made some Gomasio for other people, and then they came back 3 days later and said, "Oh, that was tasty. Give me more." I said, "Oh no, no, Now you have to wait for 2 weeks. Young people, then they eat too much salt. They don't feel it. When you become older, you feel the salt more. Then you have to be careful because of your blood pressure and so on. But young people, they think it's like a cracker, or you just snack it. That's not good. So I next time I prepared Gomasio for him with less salt, so he can eat more.
Well, we thank you very much. You know a lot. You presented it very nicely. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I will stay with you and wait for the others to. Also, I want to learn all the time. I learned a lot today, even from both Mike and I forgot the Spanish name. Patricia. Paella. I love paella, and this was great.